forecast first.
And good evening, Gulf Coast. We continue to track showers and thunderstorms as they continue to move across our area. As of right now, there are no active tornado warnings, but we are watching a couple of stronger thunderstorms, and there is a severe thunderstorm warning that includes the northwestern side of Washington County and also towards Clark County. So Coffeyville, Frankville, with the potential of seeing winds of around 60 miles per hour. Here's that severe thunderstorm warning again, stretching from the west or stretching from Millery all the way towards Campbell near Highway 154. So we'll continue to watch this closely. This goes until 6:30 this evening. Our forecaster tonight will only see increasing rain chances. There could be a couple of stronger thunderstorms out there, but the chance of rain stays high tomorrow once again. But we'll talk about all of this coming up on News 5 starting right now.
From WKRG News 5, the Gulf Coast news leader, the news starts now.
Right now at 6 o'clock, all eyes are on the sky after a brief tornado warning this afternoon in Baldwin County. It's a wet evening all across our area, including Daphne. Good evening, I'm Ashley Knight. Thank you for joining us. First on 5, we are watching the rain. After that tornado warning in Baldwin County, the rain has been the main issue. This is brand new video into our newsroom of extremely heavy rain falling in Spanish Fort near Highway 31. And from Mobile to Pensacola, the First Alert Weather Team is tracking the rain and its impacts on Mardi Gras. Here's meteorologist Thomas Gieboy with more. Hey, Tom.
Well, hey, Ashley, we've been tracking showers and thunderstorms just about all day. We had that tornado warning that was in Baldwin County earlier, and just a little while ago, that tornado warning expired around 5:45 before we came on the air here for News 5 at 6 o'clock in Washington County. As of right now, there are no active tornado warnings, but there are a few stronger thunderstorms out there. They're located in the northern half of Washington County and also Clark County, but we're also watching more showers and thunderstorms moving in from the northern Gulf of Mexico. So if you live right along the coastline, a water spout cannot be ruled out later on in the future. But here's a look at that stronger thunderstorm now moving towards Coffeyville. You're looking for those pockets of the reds and oranges. Also seeing quite a bit of lightning strikes as well. Also have some stronger weather moving towards Frankville, just to the east of Millery, just to the east of Alabama Highway 17. That severe thunderstorm warning again encompasses Alabama Highway 17, stretches all the way to the northeast towards Coffeyville, Highway 145, and goes as far north as Campbell. This storm is moving around 35 miles per hour to the northeast. And the counties included, again, are Washington and Clark. In terms of watching the Doppler velocity, really not seeing that much of rotation, but stronger winds are a possibility. Now, it doesn't look like it's producing hail, but more rain is going to be moving in. Doesn't look like the MOTs are going to be going on tonight, but the shadow barrens around 6:15. So mild with rain, and more rain is to come. We'll talk about that much more, and we'll have the latest update on that severe thunderstorm warning coming up in a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Thomas. Here in Mobile, the rain is forcing many parades to cancel and reschedule. The Mystics of Time parade in downtown Mobile has been postponed until 8:30 Monday night. The Shadow Barons in Daphne will begin tonight at 6:15 instead of 6:30. The Children of World parade in Fairhope has been canceled due to the weather. News 5's Cameron Edgeworth joins us now live in downtown with more details on the cancellations. Cameron, what can you tell us?
Well, Ashley, it's not raining in downtown Mobile right now, but the parade was supposed to be happening right now as we speak. And just stepping out of the way here, you can see the streets quiet, no floats, no people on the sidewalks, really just a few people out here right now. But despite that, people I've talked to today, even though the cancellations has happened, even though there's a chance of rain, they say they still plan on having fun tonight. Take a look at this video of a band that I caught up with going around town today, playing music for people in bars and on the street, trying to just help them have a good time. Many people I spoke to say they're disappointed, but still plan to enjoy being downtown tonight. I also spoke with the owner at OK Bicycle Shop downtown. He said he actually set up tents to prepare for the rain in hopes that the parade would still be going on. And it's going to be postponed until Monday, but he says that it's still having an impact on his business.
It's definitely going to impact us as far as sales. You see the numbers on the streets.
Visit Mobile says Mardi Gras season usually brings in tens of millions of dollars for Mobile. They say if the parades are rained out this weekend completely, that the city will certainly see a loss in revenue due to that. Now, all the parades for tomorrow are still scheduled to take place, but stay with WKRG News 5. We'll keep you posted if anything changes on air, online, and with our mobile app. But for now, reporting live in downtown Mobile, I'm Cameron Edgeworth for News 5.
All right, thank you, Cameron. Downtown Pensacola has been very lucky to get their parade in before the rain moved in. Plenty of people came out for this afternoon's parade on Palafox Street. And last night, downtown was packed with revelers for the Crew of Lafitte parade. One man we talked to was showing his Pensacola pride, saying his city has one of the best celebrations in the country. Well, you can find continuing Mardi Gras coverage and the entire Fat Tuesday parade schedule on our website, WKRG.com. Just look for the Mardi Gras link on the right side of the homepage. Breaking news now, authorities in Northwest Florida have canceled a missing child alert. 8-year-old Keegan, 6-year-old Mateo, and 5-year-old Cassandra Howd were reported missing from Niceville. The children were believed to be with their father. Here's News 5's Cody Long with more.
We just learned within the past hour that these 3 missing children have been found safe and that the missing child alert has been canceled. State and local authorities spent the day searching for these 3 children who live here on Cape Lane in Niceville. They are 8-year-old Keegan Hood, 6-year-old Mateo Hood, and 5-year-old Cassandra Hood. Neighbors here were shocked when I told them about the news. They say they just saw them getting off of the bus here Thursday afternoon. We aren't sure where they are now, but they were believed to be in the Fort Walton Beach area. The children were in the company of their dad, Gregory. That is according to those who reported them missing. Friends and family were calling for him to bring the kids home, where they have been staying for about the past month. They were worried about their safety, and now we know again that these 3 children have been found safe and that the missing child alert has been canceled. Reporting in Niceville, Cody Long, News 5.
New at 6 o'clock, 2 Ohio police officers are dead after a 911 call in Westerville this afternoon. The officers have been identified as 39-year-old Eric Joring and 54-year-old Anthony Morelli. That 911 call came in around 11:30 a.m. to Westerville Emergency Dispatch, but the caller hung up. Officers responded to the scene, but when they arrived, they were fired on. A suspect was hurt and was taken to the hospital. The Columbus Division of Police will be handling the investigation. Coming up on News 5 at 6 o'clock, a year after a man drove into a Mardi Gras parade in Gulf Shores, a grand jury makes their decision on the case. See what they've ruled about the driver at the center of the crash. It's a News 5 exclusive.
Get your first look at the news and weather coverage you can count on an hour earlier on Gulf Coast CW News at 9.
New tonight, an amazing rescue, and our cameras were there.
Breaking news happening right now across the Gulf Coast.
And an accurate local weather forecast, so you know what's coming next.
Heads up if you're driving in Northwest Florida.
Get the news and weather you can trust on Gulf Coast CW News at 9. It's new, now, next. Weeknights at 9 on the Gulf Coast CW.
I used to be really shy to talk in public. I love doing it now. I really, really love my Lumineers.
Change your smile and change your life. Learn more at airportdental.com.
Get the answers and professional help you need to buy, build, or remodel February 17th and 18th at the Daphne Civic Center. It's the 31st Annual Home and Product Showcase presented by the Baldwin County Home Builders Association. Visit bchba.com for details.
The man you work for killed 6 American soldiers.
You're too emotionally involved to make good decisions.
We have to see this through.
I'm ending this.
We're taking care of your young buck right now.
For the Brotherhood.
The Brotherhood.
SEAL Team returns February 28th.
I'm Dr. Adam Huddleston, Gulf Coast Cancer Centers. We are able to build unique relationships with our patients. We see them on a very regular basis at the very start of their treatment and then throughout their treatment process. We see them for years in follow-up, and I feel like oncology in its practice enables us as physicians to really get to know patients and to try to act as sort of a home away from home in a lot of ways. Nothing's more satisfying than to be able to see my patients after they've gone through this journey of cancer care out in the community, going to sporting events or seeing them functioning in the community at the grocery store or going to church, doing well. They've been through a lot during this process, and we've been able to usher them through their treatment, and to see the final outcome is just a really wonderful thing.
Gulf Coast Cancer Centers, together with the U.S. Oncology Network, a better way to fight cancer.
Get the answers and professional help you need to buy, build, or remodel February 17th and 18th at the Daphne Civic Center. It's the 31st Annual Home and Product Showcase presented by the Baldwin County Home Builders Association. Visit bchba.com for details.
Welcome back. New at 6 o'clock, the Florida Highway Patrol needs your help finding a vehicle involved in a hit and run. Highway Patrol says the crash happened last night on Michigan Avenue west of Valley Escondido Drive. The vehicle hit Wayman Tyson while he was riding his bicycle. He was taken to Sacred Heart Hospital with serious injuries. The vehicle is described as a sedan, possibly a dark-colored Nissan or Toyota. If you have any information, call Crime Stoppers. In a story you'll see only on News 5, no criminal charges will be filed against the driver of an SUV who drove into the Gulf Shores High School band last year during Mardi Gras, seriously injuring a dozen students. The grand jury reviewed the traffic accident that happened during the Gulf Shores Mardi Gras parade in February of 2017 and found no indictable criminal offenses. Last year, Larry Rathbun was driving a Ford Expedition that was not his. He lined up behind the band, and just after the start of the parade, something went terribly wrong. He has never spoken publicly about the accident, but he did give a statement to police. This is what he told them, according to lead investigator Sergeant Jason Woodruff.
As he kind of rolled out onto the parade route, that he gave the vehicle some, tried to give it gas, and it didn't go like he thought it should. He gave it a little more, same thing, and then it sounds like the third time that he gave it a little more, that it really engaged the accelerator, and he accelerated hard into the back of the van.
Now, it's unusual for a grand jury to hear an accident case where someone did not die, but authorities felt because of the magnitude of this accident that it needed to be presented to a grand jury. Next on News 5 at 6 o'clock, several ships on Mobile's riverfront this weekend. We'll tell you how they're part of the Fat Tuesday fun and details on the special tours being offered.
And we're still tracking showers and thunderstorms and a severe thunderstorm moving through Washington and Clark County. We'll have the latest coming up in just a few minutes.
Weeknights on MeTV. Watch Hawaii 5-0 at 5, MASH at 6, and Gomer Pyle at 7. You can find MeTV over the air and on these and other providers.
Me and my husband were having marital issues. There were a lot of attorneys who wanted us to get a contested divorce so that they could get a big fee. But that's not what we wanted. So we called the law firm of William Casey. He met with us, explained the process, and answered our questions so that we could get the divorce we wanted.
I'm William Casey. We can do a no-contest divorce for $475 plus the filing fee. If you're considering divorce and would like to know your options, pick up the phone now and call us for a free consultation.
I did, and I'm glad I did.
It's not just a Subaru, it's a Kobe Subaru.
Lease the top Safety Pick Plus 2018 Outback for $239 a month.
It's more than a Subaru. It's a Kobe Subaru.
Lease the top Safety Pick 2018 Forester for $219 a month. Get more than a Subaru from Kobe Subaru with free oil changes for as long as you own your car.
At Kobe Subaru, it's all about you.
Complimentary maintenance included.
Get your First Alert Storm Team forecast on 104.1 WDLT. Smooth hits from the 80s, 90s, and today.
Why can't they make the insurance process easier?
Did one of you fine folks say easy?
He did.
Excellent, because Aspen Dental is making things easier by working directly with your insurance, so you don't have to.
I love easy.
If easy's wrong, I don't want to be right.
Daniel!
We're a different kind of dentist. By working directly with your insurance so you don't have to, we're easier. Schedule now at 1-800-ASPEN-DENTAL.
It's our gigantic President's Day sales event. Save thousands when you let Terry Thompson take you home.
And now save nearly $9,700 on new Terry Thompson Chevy Silverados, or pay just $299 a month on new Traverses.
At Terry Thompson Chevrolet in Daphne.
On the next Access, meet the next Lindsey Vonn. Hello, Michaela Schifrin. She's one of Team USA's skiing superstars, and she's revealing a Coldplay secret only she can. Next Access.
Monday at 6 on the Gulf Coast CW.
When the big story breaks, trust News 5 for coverage you can count on.
Welcome back to News 5 at 6 o'clock. The Gulf Coast news leader. Mobile's riverfront is full of ships this weekend. One of them is a high-powered warship from the U.S. Navy. Tours of the ship started this morning. News 5's Chad Petrie has a look at these special Mardi Gras ships.
Rain may make parades difficult today, but it is certainly not a hindrance to folks in the U.S. Navy. Dozens of people climbing aboard the USS Philippine Sea as tours begin Saturday morning on this vessel. There's a lot to see on board this cruiser, although most people congregate around the helicopter that's anchored on board. Some of the people coming out for a visit say the weather couldn't stop them, and also those that have had military service in the past say a ship like this brings back memories.
Well, I was on a carrier on the Enterprise where I was. It was a lot bigger ship. But I was just telling my daughter that it's amazing. You can come back and you can smell the combination of diesel fuel or whatever, and it brings you back like you never left. It's amazing. Even after all these years, it's been 40 some odd years since I've been in.
In addition to the tours that civilians get, the crew on board also gets a chance to do shore leave in Mobile. Tours continue through next week, and for more information on that, you can check the schedule on our website, WKRG.com. Reporting in Mobile, Chad Petrie, News 5.
New at 6 o'clock soon, many of the people who lived through the civil rights era will pass on. But reporter Tirsa Smith takes a look at one cultural center's mission over in Knoxville, Tennessee, to preserve the voices of generations gone by in their own words. It's part of our continuing series on the hidden history of Black History Month.
The Beck Cultural Exchange Center is in the business of preserving the legacy of Knoxville's African-American history.
So in addition to learning history, to reading about history, I think there's this whole idea of experiencing history.
Digging through these old tapes of interviews from the late 70s of blacks in the community, each telling another side of the city's history.
I came back to Knoxville, and my brother had opened the A.R. Wheeler and Son funeral home. And I started to working for him in 1925.
But the stories also tell of terrifying times.
He's a soldier anyhow, and he said at the racetrack, he told me there's going to be one. And if the racetrack started, he's going to be into it, he's going to get killed.
He told you that?
He told me that.
Knoxville education icon Sarah Moore Green shared stories of her father's childhood and the day he gained freedom from slavery in 1863 while in Kentucky.
He said that the day that they were going to be free, the day that they were, Emancipation Proclamation was signed, that he called, that Miss Rachel called them in and said they were out in the field playing just like children.
And this daughter of a slave would go on to do great things for the children of East Tennessee, becoming the first black person elected to the Knoxville Board of Education during integration.
That was Tirsa Smith reporting. More than 40 oral histories were recorded at the Beck Cultural Exchange. They will go on permanent display at the Beck in late February.
Now, Thomas Skiboy with your first alert weather.
Well, we continue to track showers and thunderstorms. We also have a couple of stronger thunderstorms as well, mainly in the northern half of the News 5 area. They mainly right now include Clark County, but we also have a severe thunderstorm warning that's still in effect for Washington County. We'll show that in just 1 second. But the strongest thunderstorm now moving just to the northeast of Coffeyville. A few lightning strikes, and see those pockets of the red. Those are those pockets of some heavier rain as well. These storms moving to the northeast around 35 miles per hour. So if you're in Vashti, this will be moving over you relatively soon. But the storm is now getting ready to move away from the severe warned area, which stretches back towards Highway 17 and goes as far north as just to the northeast of Campbell, but stays just to the west of Thomasville. But if you're anywhere within this area, stronger winds are a possibility. This severe thunderstorm warning goes until 6:30, so time is currently 6:20, so we still have a little while to go with this. But again, the main threat with this storm is getting ready to move outside of the warning. We've been watching these storms very, very closely because just a little while ago they did have tornado warnings on them. But now, just that severe thunderstorm warning, and the trend continues to be positive, not seeing nearly as much rotation, and the winds aren't as strong as what they were just a little while ago. You move a little bit farther to the south, and just a few scattered showers, basically just to the west of Molino near Highway 29, also towards Fidelis. But if you look towards the northern Gulf of Mexico, so if you're offshore towards Gulf shores, a lot of showers and thunderstorms still moving in from the Gulf. So moisture continues to move in, and that will continue to be the case as we go throughout the rest of tonight. So not only do you have showers coming in from our south, but you look to the west. All of these showers are associated with one larger system that is slowly moving its way across the northern Gulf of Mexico. So you can see rain as far west as the Texas-Louisiana line, and this will be moving very, very slowly towards us as we go through tonight and also into tomorrow. So the chance of rain being around 80 to 90%. Really not going anywhere anytime soon. We'll also have to continue to watch the threat for some stronger thunderstorms. We have areas within the slight risk, highlighted within that yellow, so the western half of Santa Rosa County, Mobile, Baldwin County, Escambia County, the far southwestern extent of Escambia County, Alabama, and includes all of our Mississippi counties as well. A slight risk of severe weather means that severe weather is a possibility. Just stay weather aware as we go through tonight, as the chance of stronger thunderstorms will be there. But again, the severe threat not overly high. Here's a look outside the Alpha Insurance Skycam. If you're not seeing rain, you're most likely seeing fog. It is warm and it's humid outside. 66 degrees, dew point of 65, makes it feel much more like spring. And as we go through tonight, temperatures will stay very consistent in the 60s. But notice as we go into the overnight, rain chances, they will be on the rise. So here's one forecast model. Scattered showers as we go into the early evening. But notice as we progress into the overnight hours, more rain continues to move in. So really during the overnight, around an 80 to 90% chance of rain. And we continue to stay wet as we go into tomorrow morning as well. So it's another wet day. And in fact, we'll probably see more rain tomorrow than what we saw today. Highs will be in the middle 70s, south wind anywhere from 10 to 15 miles per hour, and a 90% chance you are going to need your Green Phillips umbrella, and areas just north of the immediate coastline are included in a marginal risk, which means there's a small possibility of severe weather, but tomorrow just another day where you're going to have to stay weather aware just in case. So tomorrow, 90% chance of rain, but as we turn the page towards Lundi Gras and Mardi Gras, we're going on a much better trend. A 50% chance of rain for your Lundi Gras on Monday, 30% chance of rain on Fat Tuesday, but rain chances, they're going to be sticking with us over the next 7 days. But again, just stay weather aware as we go through tonight and also towards tomorrow. Stay with us. Sports is coming up next.
Morgan & Morgan, dial pound 529 on your cell phone. Pound law, that's all.
Introducing the new Volvo S90. Drive it today at Volvo of Mobile.
Watch WKRG News 5 each morning for your Korean word of the day. Brought to you locally by Sylvan Learning Center. Learning should be personal.
Okay, it's Ford Truck Month, and here's how it works. You take F-150 Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, work in best-in-class towing and payload, sweeten up the offer, and boom. Look who just saved a stack of cash. Step on it, sport. Drive home America's best-selling truck 41 years straight. Ford Truck Month is here. It's buy now time, people.
Now get a 2018 F-150 with over $10,400 in total savings during Ford Truck Month. Only at your local Ford dealer.
Hi, it's Chuck Stevens, inviting you to compete in the 3rd Annual City Cup Challenge, March 24th at Timber Creek Golf Club. Last year's winner, Spanish Fort, challenges all Gulf Coast cities to compete for prizes and bragging rights. Are you up for the challenge? 100% of the proceeds will benefit the Dawn House, a program helping to improve the lives of adults with intellectual disabilities for over 20 years. Join me, Chuck Stevens, and WKRG News 5 for the City Cup Challenge. For details and registration, go to citycupchallenge.com.
What if you had a medical emergency away from home?
My chest hurts. I can't breathe.
What you need is Mobile Help, America's premier mobile medical alert system. Most systems only work at home, but with Mobile Help, you get help outside the home with coverage nationwide on one of the largest cellular networks at the press of a button. Call the number on your screen for a free full-color brochure. We'll send you everything you need, including this base station, the patented mobile device, and the waterproof pendant and wrist button. You can also add the fall button that automatically detects falls and signals help Call today and receive a risk-free 30-day trial. There is no equipment to buy and no long-term contract. For a limited time, you will also receive a free emergency key box with your plan purchase. Remember, mobile help keeps you safe coast to coast.
Call 1-800-916-8369. That's 1-800-916-8369.
Accurate, experienced, local. The First Alert Storm Team on News 5.
The all-new XC60 is extremely intelligent. The lane departure warning helps keep you exactly where you should be to help avoid accidents before they happen. Drive it today at Volvo of Mobile.
Now, Robbie Baker with News 5 Sports.
Something different for me today, some youth basketball. Now, I'm a fan of a good story when you tell me Spanish Fort High School basketball coach Drew Powell spent Saturday morning coaching a group of first and second graders, especially before the Toros play in a big playoff game tonight. You know, I'll be there. That's exactly where I was. Spanish Fort Warriors taking on the Wizards this morning. And that's Spanish Fort coach Drew Powell working the clipboard on the sidelines as Toros taking on the Daphne Trojans in a big regional playoff game tonight. But as he has all of this season, Drew spent walking the sidelines of Spanish Fort Elementary this morning, helping coach his son's youth basketball team and developing some future Toros in the process.
We're having a great time coaching. I'm very fortunate to be a part of it. And the youth league is really taking off over here. You know, it's only started a few years ago for basketball, and there are almost 300 kids playing in the youth league. So, you know, I think that's really going to help our high school program down the road. And I'm just excited to see the growth and development of the league.
And I'll be keeping track of all of our area high school scores throughout the night. Parents, set your DVR. We'll have more on the kiddos coming up tonight at 10 o'clock. And from the little kiddos to the bigger kiddos, I suppose, college athletics. Auburn was without Bryce Brown, their leading scorer this afternoon, but that wasn't a problem. The 8th-ranked Tigers looking to extend their lead atop the SEC standings today. Auburn was led by 24 points from Jared Harper today, and the Tigers down the Georgia Bulldogs 78-61 on the road. Auburn is now 22-3 on the year. They have a game-and-a-half lead over Tennessee in the SEC standings, and are looking like a team that can make some noise come tourney time. South Alabama had a doubleheader this afternoon over at the Mitchell Center, and how about my dude Roderick Sykes? A school record with his 5th 30-point game this season, dropped 32 as the men's basketball team cruises to an easy 87-67 win over Arkansas State. 2 straight wins now for the men's team. The Lady Jags so well this morning. They fell to Arkansas State losing by 15, and on the other spectrum of things, the Lady Jags have now lost 3 straight games. Pebble Beach Pro-Am rolled on today. You saw it here on WKRG. Jordan Spieth teeing up on the 5th hole. You saw him duck out of the way. What for, you ask? Well, I'll answer you. An amateur celebrity hit a screamer off an adjacent fairway that nearly took Spieth's head off. There was some confusion as to what had happened. Later, we investigated, so to speak, and it appears that Ray Romano was the one who hit the errant golf shot. And so I guess the thing to say here is everybody, I guess, doesn't love Ray. I couldn't resist. We also had some stock car racing. I want to mention, guys, the Lucas Oil 200 ARCA Series racing tonight. Thomas Prater, Mobile's own, running well throughout the night. Final lap, they had to do a restart, kind of an overtime type deal. Wrecked at the very end, but very proud of Thomas. We'll have highlights tonight.
The big one always. Never fun.
Yep, can't avoid it.
Yep.
Can't avoid it. All right, thanks so much for joining us tonight. We're joining today's homeowner in progress. See you tonight at 10.
WKRG aerial footage, sponsored by Green & Phillips.